just a normal day. I just make every day I decide to walk like that. I'll do like some light jogging.
Light work. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from. Where'd you grow up?
Shit. All right. So first off, my name is Andre Menzies. I go by A.MENZ. I'm from Lowell, Mass. 27. Let's see. A little bit about myself. I love basketball. Favorite team is the Celtics. Boston diehard fan forever. And all sports, even though I don't watch the rest of them. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm not even big on football. That's why the Super Bowl don't matter to me.
Not like even that, just the Super Bowl?
Yeah, nah. I don't watch no baseball. I don't. Yeah, hockey's cool sometimes. I go to the college hockey games because they're local, but aside from that,
those were fun. I used to go to. We used to go all the time.
Yeah, I remember them days. The high school days. Oh man.
Yeah.
Shit. Now that I think about it, we all even went on horseback riding.
I remember that. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It was really cool.
Too. Yeah. That was a lot of fun. I think that was like my whole idea, and then by the end of it, I was like, "Why did we fucking do this?" Like it was so cold.
Couldn't feel our hands and feet.
We should have waited till like the spring or something.
Still
it is, yeah. So where did you grow up?
To be honest with you, I kind of been a little here and there. I started in Lowell, Mass. I was born here. I was here till I was like maybe 4, almost pushing 5, and then we got put in a situation where we ended up in the shelters. We went from, if I remember correctly, we started in Cape Cod. We ended up in either Dorchester or, damn, I can't remember the other area, but I believe it may have been Dorchester, but the last one was Newtonville.
Yeah.
That was the one I remember the most because I was a little bit older at that
Yeah,
time.
I do remember you saying you moved a lot, but I didn't know you were in Cape Cod. That's pretty cool. Did you like it there?
It was all right. That's where I met my first little church. What do they call it? Those people that are really big into church, like they made us like have a whole Christmas play and everything based off the birthday of Jesus.
No.
It was insane.
Were they like a Hispanic church? Yeah, I used to do the same thing. Yeah.
It's funny because I still know the kid I went to I was in the shelters with. His name was Juan. Fucking little Juan. We all went to high school together at Lowell High. It's funny how it ended up like that.
So, you saying this shelter, did you end up there with like your mom, like your siblings and stuff, or was it just?
Yeah, it was me, my mom, and my sister. Like I said, we started at really what happened was we got kicked out of our apartment by the dude my mom was dating at the time, my sister's dad, and then we ended up at my cousin's house for a little bit. And then after my cousin's house, that's when we started the whole journey of going through the shelters and shit like that. We were at my cousin's house for what felt like a couple weeks, but it was probably like a month or two realistically, just because, you know, as a kid, time kind of flies by. You don't really notice the situations around you.
So how old were you?
I want to say like 5, maybe 6. I believe it's funny because I vividly remember that time of my life, like the whole situation that put us to the start of where we had gone to. So if I remember, it's probably like 5.
Wow.
But it's kind of weird because even thinking back to it, from what I remember correctly, all our shit was just thrown down the steps. Like I remember watching all our clothes and like my toys, fucking everything possible. Even some of the dishes were getting thrown down the steps, and we ended up just at my cousin's house for a while.
Well, I'm so sorry that happened to you, but I love seeing the person you are now. Like your journey has been crazy, but yeah, like as a person, you are literally amazing, and everything you're doing is pretty cool too.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long journey, but you know, the journey's definitely not over. We still have heights to attain.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, got to prove to the world you can be something, even if you really did come from nothing.
Yeah, and that's literally us, like in the projects of Lowell, Massachusetts, to doing everything we're doing now. It's amazing.
No.
So, what would you say your favorite memory is, is as a child? Like, besides all that negative stuff, what would you say, like, a memorable? thing?
I'd have to say my favorite memory as a child was actually, all right, this would be a good one. So when I was in the shelters, right, this is when I had been the first set of shelters in Newtonville. It had been like the end of the school year, and I remember watching TV in the group home or in the shelter that we had a living room, and we would live with like 40 other families. It was just a women and children's place. It's a place called Second Step, and so I'm sitting in the living room watching TV or whatever, and I see a commercial for the PlayStation 1.
Oh, God.
And like I remember running upstairs and telling my mom about it, and I didn't really think anything was gonna happen, but you know, it's always nice to wishful thinking. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this is something maybe we can obtain one day, or maybe something even I could grab later down the line.
I feel like even as a kid, like things like that, you don't really have a doubt. Like you always think things are gonna happen, and you don't think about anything else.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna find change somewhere. I'm gonna make money somehow. I'm gonna deliver papers or something.
That was literally me too.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Shit, I used to shovel snow for extra money. Even like fucking 2-3 years ago, I was still doing it. I wouldn't mind doing it now if it was the right money. Give me $100 an hour, I'll go back outside. Aside from that, nah, you couldn't catch me outside.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't miss is the snow. I don't see any snow anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, so when did you start like your music stuff or like your music journey?
Realistically, I feel like the first time I ever tried to write a song when I was like 8 years old.
So you write your own stuff?
And
yeah,
I write everything. I don't look for help or anything like that. Honestly, I've had a lot of people suggest it, maybe to try to get a catchier song or something like that. To, like, you know how they want like them TikTok songs and stuff like that. But I kind of keep just pushing that away. Like, nah, I like writing my own stuff. It just makes more sense to me, and it's also an emotional release. You know what I mean? So it really just helps me clear my mind. It does a lot more than people think it does. Yeah.
The first time I ever heard one of your songs, I was so impressed. Because I don't know. I feel like when you're in your hometown, like especially, I feel like Lowell is small. So when you see people like doing this, you're like, oh, this is so weird. Like it's kind of like an awkward thing. But you were so good. I was so impressed. Yeah.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's been like I said, it's been a long journey, almost 20 years in the making. I feel like I got my 10,000 hours, and now it's just time to show the world what I can do.
Well, you're amazing, and I'm super proud of everything you're doing. So tell us about stuff that you're working on now, if you can talk about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I have a couple things in the works right now. I feel like in the next upcoming weeks, between the end of February and the beginning of March, I'm going to release 1 or 2 singles on Spotify and Apple Music, basically all streaming platforms. I got a music video for one of those singles as well.
Where'd you film? Did you already film that?
Yeah, I already filmed it.
That's so
it's
exciting.
already all finished up. I just got to hit the upload button. And then I have a project completed as well. It's a dual project with my boy Izzy Nice. He's out from New Jersey. So I kind of want to reach out to him. Maybe we might get that released this summer. But on top of that, I got stuff lined up. Like I'm bringing my Freestyle Fridays back and such. So every
what
Friday,
is that?
Starting at the... All right, so Freestyle Fridays, what that is I'll go over any kind of beat like people suggest or that I find online, like random beats. I'll do a minute freestyle on it. So I'll basically, I won't like, I have this type of freestyling where I write and don't delete, where instead of making all these edits to it, I write the first thing that comes to mind, then write the second thing that I feel rhymes to it, and then just on and on from there. And I refuse to hit the delete button on it, and that's what I use for each Freestyle Friday.
That is so cool. That's such a like unique process to do it too. Like it's not like judging yourself or being too hard. Just like go with the flow, and that's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. It's also kind of like challenging in a sense because I sit there and take into account that I don't want to hit the delete button. And as somebody that likes to dabble in the creative arts, it's like you always feel like it's not good enough. So you want to hit the delete button, or you feel like you could do something better, but you have to fight that urge to be to want to backspace and just keep pushing forward. So it's really like a challenge to myself, and also it brings content that I can keep releasing and such. Because to be honest with you, I just started getting back on social media like
You
that. I
know
don't be posting
what
at
is
all.
so funny? When I first asked you to like come on and talk to us about like your journey and stuff, I was like, does he have an Instagram? Like, I've never seen you on Instagram. It's always only been Facebook. So when you
Yeah,
followed me, I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like, I just have never seen it before.
yeah. My Instagram was super
Yeah.
quiet because I had to
Hmm.
rebuild it. Unfortunately, when you gain so many followers at a fast rate, at least when I did in the
Yeah.
beginning, they like freeze your account, or like they kind of like suspend it in a
That's
sense
weird.
where they, what do they call it? Not
Like
blacklist it, but
shadow
they make it so
bans.
you can only have, yeah,
Yeah.
shadow ban. There we go. You get a shadow ban and it makes it so your account's not found when you look up certain hashtags and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
weird. But I had been like that for a long ass time. So I was like, you know what? Let me go back on Facebook
Yeah.
and play with Facebook because it's funny and you can clown around on it. You find all the fucking hilarious, the toxic
Yeah.
shit on there. So I gave my Instagram that reset for like, oh my God, forever, really.
Yeah.
For a solid at least six
You are pretty
months.
funny on Facebook. I'm always like, what the fuck? It is so funny. So how do you like keep yourself inspired to like write? Do like or how do you overcome being like what's that called when you're like blocked from writing? Writer's block, is that what it's called? Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a kind of a tough one because this I kind of struggle with it now sometimes if I'm being realistic about it. But I started reading a book called The Artist's Way. It's a workbook. I can't think of her name. I feel like her first name's Julia. I can't read it from here. I really don't feel
You're
like
fine,
getting
you're
up. I
good.
might get up in a little bit. But yeah, she wrote a book called The Artist's Way, and it's like a creativity workbook that where she provides you the steps to get back in touch with your creative side, like your inner child in a sense, because let's be real, as we become adults, we kind of have to face reality and we hit all these
Hmm.
walls and we feel like we don't have time to be creative and we got to be adults, you know what I'm saying? You got to work that job, you got to pay them bills, you got to do what you got to do to survive. And in today's world, you never have enough money. Or at least that's how I feel like a lot of people feel. I know I feel like that at
Yeah.
times. So but yeah, I read that, and honestly, the steps help a lot. It tells you things like where, for example, every morning when I wake up, I write down 3 pages in my notebook of everything that's on my mind without stopping.
Yeah.
So whether I don't go back for no grammar mistakes,
Hmm.
anything really. So you just kind of keep writing and writing everything that's on your mind to get the
Yeah.
clutter out. So you start the day fresh, and like also part of it is like figuring out where in your life you hit those creative walls or what made you stop being creative. Like it kind of makes you fight your
Hmm.
demons
Yeah.
and for example, that third grade teacher that told you you can't draw as good as you thought
Hmm.
you could draw, and
There's always
fucking,
that
so it
one
made you
teacher.
stop
Yeah.
drawing. Yeah. So it's like stuff like that. And believe it or not, I feel like as somebody who kind of has like this tough exterior shell, it gives me a chance to see where I became that annoying tough exterior
Hmm.
shell. Because let's be real, like it's stressful to always be out here keeping a stone
Yeah.
face, and you know how us New England people do it. Like it's a everyday thing. We see all 4 seasons out here. It's rough every day, so it's just like
Yeah.
you
But I'm
know,
glad that you
it
recognize that. I'm glad that you recognize that there is like a shell that you need to break in order to like be successful, especially in like the career that you're doing. Um, but I wouldn't say it's annoying because it's not an annoying thing. I think it's just part of like your journey, especially going through as much as you did. Like it's granted, like that is granted to be there. So I think you're in the
well,
right
yeah.
place for sure.
I feel you, but that's why I say it's annoying
It
because it's
is
like it's one of those
not.
things I can't push away. I have no choice but to keep breaking through
Yeah.
those shells and getting comfortable with things. Because even now, like it took a long time to be comfortable to even tell people I was from the
Hmm.
shelters because it didn't matter where I showed up. Like even in schools, like you could just tell I didn't have the clothes
Yeah.
other people had. Like I had patches on my shit, or my shit was way too big because I had to grow into it because they knew I was gonna have to hold on to it for a while, or even like even like the bikes I'd ride, I'd be riding like fucking girl bikes I found because it was just there and it was something to ride. Like, and it was, niggas used to try to tease me on the block about it, but at the end of the day, it was like, hey, my family's too big. You're not gonna fight me. I'll make a phone call and we all gonna beat your ass. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it is what it is. Like I'm all down for getting it 1-on-1, but when it comes to jumping, that's kind of what the city's about. They don't nobody fight fair out here no more, and they haven't since like the 90s, 80s. I'm sure it's been like
But, so what would you tell your younger self if they were standing right in front of you after like everything you've been through and then what you are now?
Damn, to be honest with you, I feel like there are a few things I'd tell myself. If I could break it down into three categories, I'd say the first one would have to be physical advice, like how to keep myself healthier and make sure I don't eat all this bullshit. Because let's be real, like being young and going through the shit I went through, like you have a selective palate and you only have so whatever comes in. So it's like you get like acclimated to these bad eating habits. Like there weren't always vegetables around, but it was cheaper to get the protein because the protein was really bad. You know what I'm saying? It was like the meat that was about to go bad type shit. So, or even like the pantry food, we used to stand outside, even downtown Lowell. I think they still do it now, where the church will come outside and they'll hand out like all the free bread and the free extra fruit and shit that they have in the canned stuff. Like the stuff the schools will be donating to and shit like that. Like we used to go outside and go collect that stuff. So it's like having that selective palate and having all these semi-spoiled foods, it kind of fucks you up in a sense, and it makes it so, you grow up in a, how do I explain this? You grow up unhealthy, like, it's basically, that's really the rundown of it. But I would definitely tell myself first about how to keep my physicality better. And then the second thing I have to say is I'd have to try to give myself advice on how to keep my mental straight. Because realistically, I feel like there were many times in life where I let my emotions get the best of me and it caused me to make decisions that I can't really go back and fix or even turn around and try to make amends for, because that's how I felt at that time. And I sometimes even now find myself resorting back to my old ways, but it's kind of one of those things where you got to face yourself in the mirror and figure out your niches, the things that really made you that way. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, cracking them shells. So I definitely try to give myself advice to look in the mirror and just realize that, everybody goes through shit. And you know what I'm saying? It's kind of just got to take it on the chin and keep it pushing. There's no reason for an emotional outlash, because emotions, 1 minute of an emotional outbreak can cost you the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? We see it all the time, from shootouts, even fist fights. I mean, realistically, I done seen a few people get put through glass and shit like that. I've seen a few people lose their life. So it's just like, you really can't justify those actions when it was just an emotional outburst. Niggas was mad for 1 second and it changes the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? And usually it just escalates from there. So I definitely would want to give myself the emotional advice and how to give myself a mental strategy to calm down and relax more often. And then the last thing would be financial advice, especially with that motherfucking COVID money. Shit, all that motherfucking money came in, I would have hit that PPP heavy. All these niggas did that shit, and ain't nobody get arrested for that. Couldn't believe it.
I don't really know much about like business and like financial stuff, but I did hear about that, which is interesting. But I do applaud myself for getting my LLC during COVID, because it was a lot easier to do it. But I don't know much about it. Like I just signed up for it, and like I know I have it, but I don't know what to do with it. So
nah, kudos to you, you know what I'm saying? And if anything, I know a little bit. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know everything. Like I ain't grow up in the business LLC tech world. I kinda have my manager for all that. He be teaching me shit on the low. So I know it when I see it in front of me, but as far as like the jargon for it, I'm not really big on that. But from what I do understand is with an LLC, you can use that to put everything that you own and like that you end up purchasing in the future, put it in the LLC name. So if anything ever happens to you, you don't lose it. It's in the LLC type shit. I know that's one of the tricks behind it. And then it also comes to like, when it comes to taxes and shit like that, whatever you spend throughout the year, if it's business related, You know what I'm saying? Quote unquote business
Yeah.
related. You know
Let
what I'm
me pull
saying?
up with a Tesla.
Right. Like, yeah. I mean, you can. That's your
People,
business right now. Just throw a bumper sticker on that shit of your
no,
business. You know what I'm
for
saying?
real.
And call it a
Um,
day. Write that bitch right
so
off.
I think that I like that you pointed out like the healthy eating aspect of like your inner child, because I feel like growing up on EBT and like growing up in the projects, like I feel like our moms, our grandmas, like they just get food that they know will last for the entire month. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like
Them.
it's just
Or,
survival mode.
yeah. Or like getting that wick and
Yeah.
shit, that block of cheese,
Yeah.
nigga, or the fucking, oh
Yeah.
man. I used to hate all that mac and
Yeah.
cheese. Like,
So, but that's good though,
it's
because
just
you're
so
breaking
bad.
curses and you know that's something that you need to work on and potentially like pass that forward to like your own kids. So that's amazing that you know that. And I love the fact that you're my one of my only guy friends that is very in tune with how they're feeling, because I feel like a lot of men don't like to talk about how they're feeling, or like that's just like a hands-off type of like topic. But like
Nah,
you're very
yeah.
like you know how you feel and you know how to articulate it. So I love that so much.
Nah, I really appreciate that. Honestly, it took a lot of
Yeah.
fucking work. It was like, even now, I'm not like super open
Hmm.
or
But
like
you're trying.
super emotional, but like the way I am is I'm able to figure out what my problem is and be able to speak to myself in the mirror in that closed
Yeah.
room and be like, all right, cool. Like, yo, look, Dre, this is your
Yeah.
problem. Like, you need to fix this. You need to fix that. You shouldn't have said
Yeah.
this. Like that, I definitely feel like I have on lock now. But as far as being out here, like, hey, like I'm feeling sad
Hmm.
today. Like I'm not really like, nah, I don't
But
really do
you
all
just said that you journal every
that.
day, so that is being in
Yeah,
tune.
but
But
well, yeah, of course, but that's more of like that's more to get the clutter out of
yeah.
my head because like I'll be honest with you, I be having some fucked up dreams. Like I just wake up confused as
Yeah.
shit. Like, and you know how they say every dream has
Hmm.
meaning to it, so it's like I'm trying to figure out why like Bugs Bunny is shooting
Not Bugs
fucking. You know what I'm
Bunny.
saying?
Oh my god.
Like just as an example, like it's just like these shits they make no sense. Like, does that just mean my life full of calamity?
Oh.
Like, is it just full of random shit that it's just gonna keep coming left and right, or what? Or is this world just a cartoon and I get to draw out the
It
rest of my
might be.
life? Like,
I
I'm
mean,
hoping
you
so.
can do whatever
Definitely
you
hoping
want.
so.
So how did you make the transition from like your music being like a hobby to taking it seriously and doing what you're doing now?
To be honest with you, the way I did that is kind of easy slash complicated to
Hmm.
explain. It started out with always just having a beat in my head for some reason. Like I couldn't figure out why I felt like I was always listening to music, was always tapping on tables or using pencils
Yeah.
or like snapping or whistling. Like I used to get in trouble for it a lot. It was weird. So I remember back in middle school when I was in the shelters, I had been invited to play an instrument, but the thing was I didn't have the bread to rent the instrument. So my teacher at the time, it was literally, oh man, I really don't remember his name, but it was actually the first black teacher I had ever
Oh
had.
my
So
god.
it was cool. Like I had never had somebody like, you know what I'm saying, like as somebody that was like me.
Hmm.
It's weird because I'm black and Puerto
Yeah.
Rican, so it's like it having that little relation type thing where I don't really know anybody
Hmm.
else because out in Newtonville, I'll be honest with you, it was just like a bunch of Caucasian
Yeah.
kids
That's something I wanted
had
to ask you
money.
too. Like
Like,
how, as a black man, like what challenges do you face like in this space?
I'll be honest with you, I feel like I kind of get the light end stick
Hmm.
of it, cause like the lighter
Yeah.
end of it, cause my complexion's a lot
Yeah.
lighter. But what I will say is, like, I feel like throughout other
Hmm.
features, whether it be my facial features,
Your
my
hair.
hair,
Yeah.
anything of the sort, like
Like,
they do kind of treat me
yeah.
weird. But I don't know. I also feel like I bring a lot of respect to the
Yeah.
table, and I have this thing where if I'm gonna speak to you, I enjoy looking you in the
Hmm.
face. Like That way you understand I'm trying to absorb your message and such. So I feel like it's a 50-50, but New England's weird. Like, the racism's weird out here. They won't tell you like they got a problem with you.
Just treat you weird.
They'll keep you from that job, or they'll see you need help and they'll be like, fuck him. I ain't helping him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and don't get me wrong, nobody's obligated to help another person. Like, it is all in self-interest in a sense. Like, I feel like people only help others for self-gratification. They don't really do it out the kindness of their heart no more. Like, I feel like now it's kind of like, all right, cool, I helped you out. Like, you kind of owe me one, you feel me? Like, but I don't know. I kind of feel like, like I stated, like 50-50 out here. Like, you get those that like you, those that don't like you. You get those that are like interested to speak to you, but be doing it in an awkward way and try to touch your hair or some shit.
Oh my God, that is the worst.
Yo, I be getting that all the time at the casino, and it drives me nuts. It drives me nuts.
Is it like them nasty old people?
Yeah, them nasty ass old. Like, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't have a problem if I'm drunk. I'm probably gonna let it slide anyway. But like,
but you shouldn't.
You could have approached me and said something like, "Yo, can I feel your hair?" Like, "Yo, bro, you are 80. I don't really care." Like, if you ask me, it's whatever. Like, you're 80-something years old. I ain't gonna trip about it. But when you come out here and like grab my hair and I pull my head away and you're still holding it, I'm getting yanked. Like, now I feel like I'm obligated to kind of tweak out.
Oh my God. Bro.
But it's like, and plus, you know, these people touching all this cash and these chips, they got all these germs on it and shit, and you just trying to grab on my scalp and shit. Like, get out of here.
Ew, that's so weird.
Not a fan of it.
What casinos do you go to? Like Encore in Boston?
Encore,
I've never
Boston Billards. Encore is a kind of, I like it. I think it's a little overpriced though, but it's Boston. Like, I'll be honest with you, even the restaurants, just because I grew up hood, like, I like to know what I'm paying for. You hit the restaurants and Encore, these niggas hand you a menu that ain't got no prices on it.
That's when you know, that's when you know it's going to be pricey.
Oh man, I took my ex there one time to the restaurant that the bill was like $350 and I didn't even know. I was
okay, wait.
I'm gonna pay for
it. I was gonna say, did you pay or did you make her pay?
Oh no, obviously I was gonna pay for it, but it was like, all right, so I knew the restaurant was kind of upscale because it was in the casino, but I was like, all right. When I walked in this bitch though, they were like, you can't wear your jacket and you got to take your hat off. I was like,
I
shit.
do remember this story.
I ain't never been in no place like this. I ain't never been in no place like this. I got a simple, you know what I'm saying? Simple filet mignon, a little potato puree, couple cups of Henny.
Couple cups? Ew.
Only two.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I got to gamble. I can't get too drunk.
You got to make your money back somehow.
But it was just like, right. I didn't though. I took.
See, this is why I don't do that shit. This is why I don't fuck with gambling. Fuck that. Or how does your music affect being in a relationship?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like it does affect being in a relationship. Like, I'm not in one now. I haven't been in one for years, but it's like, the reason for that being is I feel like there's certain aspects about my life that when I talk about, the female may not understand and feel like I may be talking about somebody in my present future. But it's like, or somebody I may even have ties with, because I feel like I've run into that problem in the past before. But like, I don't know. It's also like I feel like a confidence thing. Like, I feel like if I can sit here and proudly say all this shit in front of like my female, not like, I feel like they don't take it as a sign of respect, and some of them don't really understand that it is like a job thing. It's not like I'm sitting here talking about other women because you know what I'm saying, because I want to stun you. Like, I'm sitting there talking about what's happened in the past and like shit that even be happening now when you go to the club and you like literally you're in the right section, you have the right money or you have the right shit on, like they're just around you. They come around. Like, they just want to be around for the photos and all that extra shit to make themselves look like they're important. Because that's really how the club works. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, Lisi. If you go to the club, you spend maybe, all right, so you're out in Houston, you probably get a section in a bottle for like $7.50 if we're being realistic. You go get yourself a section in a bottle, you go in there with all these fake chains on. I'm talking about you got like fucking 20 of them bitches on, all diamonds on them bitch. Ice out your wrist, all fake shit, I promise you. Everybody's gonna be around you trying to see why you're there. I done seen it 100 times in Atlanta.
Oh wait, yeah, you used to live in Atlanta too. Yeah.
Yeah. I still got a spot out there, but like it's.
So do you go back and forth, or like what do you do?
Yeah, I go back and forth. It's more like a storage spot for me now. I don't really.
Thank God. No, I definitely want you to plan a trip to come to Houston, because Houston is a lot of fun. There's a lot to do there.
Yeah, I heard it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I've only stopped by through the airport. I had to take a friend back to Florida. It was like a fucking 26-hour drive.
That's what I did from Massachusetts to Houston, all by myself. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I had no choice. I had to bring my car, and
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely a journey.
God bless you for making.
Yeah, I stopped literally almost every hour. What's a lesson or advice you'd like to pass down to like the next generation, or even like your kids, if you want them?
A lesson or advice, I would definitely have to say, keep striving, no matter how hilarious or unrealistic your goals may seem to other people. I'll be honest with you, if you believe they're within reach, they're probably within reach. Because if there's one thing in this life I've learned is, it's the more you think it's gonna happen, it's more likely gonna happen. Because you end up like unintentionally or even intentionally taking the steps towards making it happen. Yeah. Like, because I remember even as a kid, like I've had dreams of even just making music, and long behold,
and look at you now.
Right now, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's crazy. Yeah. You know, you really got to manifest the shit in your life. And I don't want to sit here and act like, you know, because that's that word they kind of make fun of, the manifest.
Oh no,
like,
I'm all for manifestation.
Like you got to think of it, man. You really got to want it. If you don't want it bad enough, it's not.
I feel
happen.
like if, like you said, like if you have a thought in your mind, it's most likely because like you belong in that space. Like you wouldn't be thinking about it if it's not for you. Yeah, so yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so let's do some fun questions. What music are you into now? Like, what are you currently listening to, or favorite artists besides yourself?
If I had to say my favorite artist, I got a few of them. Don't call me crazy. Don't crucify me for this. Don't grab me by the neck for this. But I just recently started listening to Lil Durk like a year ago.
Yeah, like I don't listen to
him. He's been out forever, and I feel whenever I tell people that, they look at me so crazy. Yeah. They're like, "What? How you sleeping on Durk? How you sleeping on Durk?" I'm like, "Yo, bro, it's my fault. I was a '90s head. Like, I love the '90s music. I was so stuck on it for so long." And then eventually I kind of just woke up one day like, fuck it, let me listen to something else.
So why him?
And then, I'll be honest with you, he's unique. He's very unique. Like, I like the fact that you can hear the pain in his singing. Like, and I've heard him live at Rolling Loud. And I honestly feel like, unless they did some kind of the effects behind his voice or something, I think he can sing live. Like, he's pretty decent at singing live.
That's very important, because you can be the best, like, in my headphones, but if you're not the best in person, that's like, I don't know.
Also, his music is very unique. Like, I feel like he has a style that people can't copy. It's kind of like his. That's the same way I feel like about Cole and Nas and Biggie and Eminem and shit like, and people like that, like Joyner and shit like that. They have this certain flow, certain wordplay, and certain flavor in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Pause, but certain flavor that like get that other people can't do or obtain or try to recreate. Yeah. So yeah, I started listening to Durk about a year and a half ago. I say maybe 2 years max.
So if you could make music with any of these people you mentioned, who would you pick?
Oh, that's a tough one.
We're manifesting right now.
It would have to be Cole. Definitely Cole. And I say Cole.
I feel like you kind of, like your style kind of reminds me of Cole. Like, you don't care about the fame, you don't care, like, obviously money is a big thing, but like that's not what's important to you. And I feel like that in that aspect you kind of remind me a lot of Cole.
Word, I respect that. I definitely respect that opinion. I always like, I don't doubt it in a sense because he's been one of my favorite
Yeah.
artists since 2009. Like, first song I ever heard of his was Dead Presidents 2, and I still remember when and where I was at. Like, we was on the bus heading to the mall, the Burlington Mall, back in high
Yeah.
school. So it was like, it was freshman year too for me. So it was like, I didn't even have a phone. Like, I was one ear in it with my boy James at the
Yeah.
time. Like, he used to be my best friend. And fucking, yeah, ever since that, I started researching him, whether it was at school or my computer that we had just gotten at home. Like, I was forever looking for his music and shit. So his music became like comfort music and music that spoke to me and shit. If people think I sound like him, to me, that's kind of like a
Yeah.
blessing because he's one of my favorite artists.
He
He's
is
been my favorite, like I
good.
said, one of my favorites since 2009.
Yeah. What's a
Also,
genre that you'd like to step into but you haven't?
um, that's interesting. I feel like I might be able to do like what's his name from Linkin Park? How he be rapping on them
I don't know.
songs. What's his name? I feel like such a dickhead because I used to listen to Linkin Park so bad, like so often. Like, fuck. But yeah, the dude that be rapping and like alternative,
Yeah.
maybe I could see myself rapping over alternative beats or even some of the rock beats.
Yeah, I was
feel
gonna
like
say I kind of
drums and
can see you
guitars.
like going rock, but like not like full blown rock. But I feel like you have like the flow of that too.
Yeah, me spitting over a few rap beats,
Yeah,
I could probably do
that'd be
that.
pretty cool. Okay, so are you a Rolling Loud or like Coachella type of guy, or do you like just a regular concert?
Um, Honestly, it depends the time of year. I'm gonna keep it
Yeah.
100%
Have you
honest
been
with
to
you,
Rolling Loud?
cause yeah, I was in
Okay.
Rolling Loud. I was at the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
one for out in fucking Cali in
yeah.
December. Not the December. I think it wasn't the December that just passed or the year before that. It might have been the year 2021
Yeah.
December. That's when we went. So we were out there, lovely in the day. Oh my God, it hit 6 p.m. and we were out by the fucking mountains, freezing cold. I'm out there in shorts. It's like, it
Oh
feels like it's 30 degrees with
no.
the wind.
Gee, that sounds fun
Terrible,
though. Besides
terrible.
like being cold.
Yeah, nah, it's lit though. They got the Ferris wheels and
Yeah.
shit. They got like the spin
Yeah.
chair that was lit off the Four Locos. Like just
That's pretty
yeah, it
cool.
was
Yeah.
fun.
Um,
I got to see Dirk live. I seen Cole live. I seen
yeah.
mad people. I got to see. I think I seen Benny as well. Benny the Butcher. I seen a couple females kill it too, and then I seen my nigga Lil Nar perform. Yeah, it
That's
was
pretty
lit. I seen Spot
cool.
'em, got
Yeah.
'em.
So, what has been your favorite concert so far?
My favorite concert would definitely be the Cole
Yeah.
concert. It was when he came to Lowell.
Oh my
So
god.
yeah, when he came to Lowell, my cousin Starshell actually opened
Yeah.
for him, and I was front row with my family. So it was
That's so
like, and
cool.
I had just hit my growth spurt too. So I was
Oh, I
like
know you were on
5'9",
a high.
5'10".
Oh my god.
I could just see right over the speakers like this.
That's
So
so
I was
cool.
like front row. It was awesome. Very
Yeah, that's
awesome.
amazing. Okay, so where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
5 to 10 years, hopefully sitting on a homemade throne. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean like as the king of music or king of any category of hip
Yeah.
hop or music, anything like that. Like I mean like a king of my own
Yeah.
castle. Like to be able to sit in the big chair in my own house, maybe with a family, if the music allows me to do that. Like, because realistically, I know once it does pick up, because I know it will
Yeah,
pick up. Once it
100%.
does pick up even further, like when it comes to the shows and tours and stuff like that, I'll be busy all the time. So I don't want to like, I wouldn't want to leave the whatever female I end up choosing at that period of my life to feel like they have nobody they can co-depend
Mm-hmm.
on or anything of the sort. I mean, don't get me wrong, everything will be paid for and shit like that, but it's like I feel like it's different. Those are very valuable years of a child's
Yeah.
life, and every parent should be there. So I'd probably pull a Kendrick if I did have a kid out the blue. You know what I'm saying? I'd disappear for like 4 years and then come back like, all right, cool. I'll start making
Yeah.
music
I'm
now.
glad that you
Like,
recognize
and
that. Yeah.
yeah, that's one thing I definitely respect Kendrick for. Like, he stepped away for a while and came back and dropped a gem on
Yeah.
us. So,
So, what is like your routine before you perform, or do you have like a ritual that you do before you go on stage?
uh, so I've been on stage twice, and my little ritual, I would say, is I gotta take a shot of my favorite Henny.
You are
Just
nasty.
to get the, yeah, I'm a Henny guy. I'm a Henny guy. If it's not Henny, it's Henny.
Yeah.
That's about all I drink. I mean, as of late, when I was in Atlanta, we were drinking like Louis the 13th and that DeLeon.
I don't know what that
Like
is.
that, yeah. DeLeon's like a tequila. It's like a really
Ooh.
expensive
Yeah.
tequila. And then the Louis the 13th, it's like it's a cognac, I
hmm
believe. It's like I think it's like $4,000 a bottle.
Yeah.
But they fucking so I try some of that because you can't kill something like that. You're supposed to sip on it.
So is
like
that what
that's an
kills your
expensive bottle.
nerves? Yeah.
Yeah, the liquor kill my nerves, and then I'll smoke a blunt or two to be honest with you, because that's like my, as bad as it sounds, that's like my
Yeah.
soothing, my calmness.
Okay, so what is your favorite food right now?
My favorite food, oh man, fried
Fried
chicken. It'll
chicken.
forever be fried chicken. Forever be fried chicken.
I love that.
It don't matter whether it's 7 a.m., 2 a.m., 2 p.m., midnight, fried chicken. I could eat that at any time of the day. Chicken and waffles for breakfast, chicken parm for lunch, fucking fried chicken sandwiches for dinner type shit. Like,
Those are
keep the
good.
chicken hungry.
Yes. Okay, so who is someone who's inspirational to you right now in your circle at the moment?
Inspirational to me in my circle, there are quite a few people. Like, I definitely want to say my aunt Starshell. Well, my older cousin Starshell. I've always called her my aunt, but I'd say her husband Rashawn. They've to be honest with you, they've sat me down and had a life-changing conversation with me that kind of pointed me in the right direction, that has me doing the things I'm doing now and reaching for the goals that I've now set for myself. So I could definitely say they become a huge inspiration in my life.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I would have to say my manager for sure. Like, he's always taken me under his wing and try to teach me new things, and also he's always invested his time and even invested money behind me. So it's
How did
like,
you guys meet?
I've honestly known Josh since like second grade, like
Oh wow.
a very, very long time. And it's funny because not funny, but the way we actually met was one of my friends was actually attempting to bully him.
Oh
And
jeez.
you know how
Yeah.
kids are, stupid ass fucking, yeah. It's stupid little kids running around not knowing what's good, what's not, just trying to be the
Yeah.
tough guy. And long story short, an altercation occurred, and then I kind of just told him, yo, bro, chill out. Like, it's not worth it. Like, and then, lo and behold, I went in the bathroom, like, later on in the day, and he just so happened to be in the bathroom. I was in the bathroom trading Yu-Gi-Oh cards with somebody. The second grade, in the bathroom trading Yu-Gi-Oh cards with somebody, and he came around the corner, and he was like, oh, you play Yu-Gi-Oh? And then we kind of just started talking from there. And then it gravitated to play, like, even after, because I remember, like, after I met him, I ended up going back into the shelters and heading back out towards like the Boston way. And it was like, even throughout that, I still ended up reconnecting with him in middle school, and we were playing video games online together and shit. And like, it was just kind of funny how throughout multiple points in my life, I ended up still finding his friendship and still being cool with him, to him now, like, basically helping me change my life and sculpting my future and teaching me all these new things, from IT work to even how to speak properly and better my email skills and stuff that you would really never be taught in school and stuff like that. So it's cool to have it's very cool actually. It's a blessing to have a business savvy circle that where everybody knows something different from one another, from venture capitalism to tech to fucking to business of sales and such. Like, it's cool. Awesome.
That's amazing. So what?
Yeah, so I got a nice little circle.
You do. But yeah, it's always nice to have friendships like that, especially like ones that you can learn from and like grow as a person. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
They're true blessings.
What has been the highlight of your journey so far?
Man, I don't know. There's been a lot that's been happening. Because even when I was in Atlanta, a lot had happened. Like this past trip, like I met I got to see Terrence Mann again. I used to ball up back in the day, but it's I feel like it's the same, but the world looks at it as different because they view him as somebody extremely important now. I mean, I definitely do as well. Like he the soldier from Lowell.
Yeah, I love seeing
the basketball soldier that put the city on his back. And when I say soldier, I don't mean like armed forces soldier, just so nobody, you know what I'm saying, try to get on my back about that. But like he's just he could bear it all, you know what I'm saying? He's cool. He's
That's
awesome.
one thing that I absolutely love and miss about Lowell is that, I mean, Houston is the same way, but like coming from somewhere that is so creative and so diverse and like people do amazing shit in Lowell. Like look at what you're doing with the school stuff and like, I don't know. I just love like all the art and all like everything that everyone's doing is amazing.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention the school stuff now that I think about it. So the after school program, what's funny is they haven't even gotten back to me on that. Like they requested a proposal and they wanted me to come teach to do something what they call a flex period so I could introduce it to the students. And then they just never answered back for multiple phone calls and everything else. But from what I've been hearing through the grapevine and the school systems and even through other teachers and such, it's like, yo, bro, everybody hates their job right now. So I feel like things might just be backed up or, you know what I'm saying? It's just people are overworked, underpaid, because we all know how the school system goes. I feel like we see it on TV all the time as well. The strikes people be going on and such. So it's like, or at least I remember them from back when we were kids. So I'm sure shit's just as bad now. I mean, with the price of inflation and everything going up. So like, I feel like there's just not enough money to, you know what I'm saying, fully help out on what we need, what we're looking for, which is perfectly fine. I plan to still do the studio anyway.
So what is like the concept of the after school program?
So the concept of my after school program is I want to give people the opportunity to freely create using music. And the way I plan on doing that is I want to make it something where it's not with a drop off. It's not like the Boys and Girls Club where you drop your kid off and they just kind of do whatever they want while they're there. They're going to be here for a specific reason to learn. And so I planned on stretching it out depending on what kind of funding we would receive from the students or the school to make it like 3 days a week you learn how to audio engineer yourself. But it'll be like Monday you learn how to work on vocals, Wednesday you learn how to make beats, Friday you actually learn how to fine tune everything and make it one complete piece. So it's like,
that is so cool.
So it's like if I could get the students to actively basically be creative and keep their mind off the bad shit that people be going through, because my goal is I don't want it to be like a like I said, I don't want it to be a hang on. I want this for the students that feel like they need it and it's productive and they want to learn something. Because who knows? We all have hidden talents and hidden skills, and when people put their mind to it, they can actually get things accomplished and achieve.
Especially kids. I feel like kids, like, they have all of these interests, but they don't have like outlets to, you know, put that out there. So that's really cool that you're doing that. That's really,
no outlets, no guidance. Just trying to be a lit flame, trying to help people out.
It's really cool that like to see people seeing people that you wish you had like growing up. You know what I mean? Like I wish there was something like that when I was growing up because I'd be all for it. But
It's exactly how I felt, and that's what led me to even start this. It's like, damn, I really wish I could have been making music when I was a kid, or even had somebody willing to teach me what I've always wanted to learn. Because, like, let's be real, I wouldn't have attained this knowledge fully if I wouldn't have went to college for it. Like, there are things where you could pick up on YouTube and try to learn, like here and there, but at the end of the day, there's no in-depth work for you to have to work on. You have to kind of create the work yourself. You don't have a workbook sitting next to you like, all right, look, try to do this now. Now go record this and try to make it like this. You know what I'm saying? To challenge your skills, aside from testing your own music. And the only reason why I feel like that's a bad example is you kind of become biased, and you don't get the professional opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because when it comes to going to the schooling for it, they tell you how it's supposed to sound. They expect it to sound exactly like this because the settings are set to this, compared to, oh, I think it sounds correct, so I'm going to keep it that way. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's also the difference between like the industry standard and also the regular everyday just music people put out. You know?
Well, I'm really glad that like the kids will have someone like you to like look up to and, you know, help them with their creative outlet. So that's pretty cool, everything you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so last question.
Last question already? Wow, an hour went by that quick.
Has it been an hour?
Is it? Oh, 53 minutes, I think.
Well, you know what I do really, really love, and I love talking about this, is that like we've been friends for so long.
I know, it really has been a long time.
But I feel like doing like I don't like to call it an interview because it's just literally just us having a conversation. But like I love it because I get to know you guys in like a different aspect of what like just like friends like hanging out, you know what I mean? So yeah, I really appreciate you coming onto this space and opening up to us about your journey and stuff like that. I really appreciate it.
Nah, of course. I really appreciate you having me.
Okay, last question. Are you a Starbucks guy or a Dunkin's, and what's your order?
What? It's got to be like Dunkin's. Come on. I'm a New England guy. Come on, man.
See, my answer would be Starbucks.
What? Yeah. I'll be honest with you. The first time I went in Starbucks, I asked for a large, and they kind of went back and forth about it being a grande, and I kind of was
annoying.
Just like, I was just like, yo, bro, if you don't give me the biggest fucking drink you have, like, I'm just not going to buy it. He's like, oh, you mean the venti? I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I don't care. Like, I asked for a large.
They take that so serious. For what? Just give me a large cup of coffee and let's keep it moving. Because,
But I will say, back when I was when I lived in the shelters in Newtonville, there was a Starbucks down the road, and they didn't have Dunkin's by where I lived. So I was drinking it back in the day with one of my young friends from school. His name was Gary. He put me onto it, and there was something about their hot chocolate that I really liked.
It is good.
Hot chocolate, or they're like they have some kind of like coffee espresso, but it's like a vanilla kind of coffee or something.
So good.
But aside from that, I don't know shit about that place. I don't know nothing about no double pump latte. I don't know nothing about none of that shit. Give me a donut and some French vanilla coffee, 3 and 5, and I'm good. Iced coffee, middle of the winter. Give me the iced coffee.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate you coming on. And I think I'm going to be in town soon, so I'll let you know so we can do something. I might go back on the 18th. Do. I'm still trying to figure it out, but yeah.
So the 18th? All right. What day is that? Is that a Friday?
Saturday? Yeah.
Saturday? All right, cool. Yeah. I should be sober.
I was like, you should be free or sober. Okay.
Yeah, nah. I don't
give a shit. If you're not sober, I won't be sober either. So there we go.
I bet, because the day before is my mom's birthday, so I might still be stuck from the night prior.
That's okay. All right. Well, yeah, it was nice talking to you. But tell everyone where they can find you, like your socials and your music.
Yeah, for sure. So once again, it's your boy A.MENZ. You can find me on Instagram more than anything else. It's at A.MENZ Music, or search me up on Facebook, A.MENZ. Twitter at A.MENZ Music, but I really don't be using that shit, so you don't gotta go there. But if you want to, by all means, you can go there. I'm not buying no check mark either. So like, I'm not one of them niggas. Like,
I
if I get
respect
it, I
it. Yeah,
earned it.
exactly. I respect
Yeah,
it.
can't do
I
all
respect
that.
it.
But
And then
yeah,
you said your music is
that's
on all platforms as A.MENZ.
oh yeah. It's on all
Okay,
platforms. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Music. I think it's like Amazon. You can find it on as well.
perfect.
I don't know. I'll be honest with you. It's distributed through TuneCore. It got like fucking 176 stores
Oh,
it's sold
wow.
through. You'll
Black
find it
stripes,
somewhere.
baby, it's wartime. This feel like a ceremony for rappers. I sense the apartheid. They don't fuck with me yet. I feel like I'm off sides. Offset with the check. I spent the extra like 4 times. That's that baller shit. Used to wanna flex for acknowledgement, but now